Hello and welcome to this episode of The Gunman. In this video I'll be taking you through the steps of getting this BMW 320i painted in Titan Silver, paint code 354. I'm using Standox solvent based base coat to do this job. So what I'm actually putting down here is not the correct colour, it is what we call a ground coat. If I was just painting the fender I would probably not worry about it, but being that I'm painting the bumper bar as well, they use up a lot of paint, so I've gone around, had a look on the bench, found some old silver that may have been wasted off the last job, and then put that down to enable your top coat colour to get better coverage. So as you can see, that first coat of top coat started to get coverage straight away without having to put an extra couple of coats on. For a bumper bar you would usually need about 300 mils of top coat colour to get that covered up, but being that I'll put the ground coat down I'll probably only need 200 mils. So it's something, if you are spraying every day and you can save a couple of dollars with a boss, then they'll start noticing it, and when they see the paint material bills coming down, you ask for a pay rise, they'll remember that, and that's why I've always looked at material usage and stuff like that, something to be conscious of. So this first coat of top coat colour, as you can see, it's basically already covered up because I've used that ground coat. Now I'm starting to put my second coat of colour on this top coat colour on this fender. I'm starting to do the blend out a little bit. Then let that dry off. You can help it dry off with the air gun if you want. What I've got in here is blending clear. It is just a clear coat of base coat to allow the blend coat to land in that, and it will aid the blend and not seeing any blend there. So now for this last coat, it's your effect coat. You don't want it on too wet, you want the pressure set at about 2 bar or 30 psi. And you're just flicking it out across the back of the guard. Here's our first coat of clear. I'm using Standox Crystal Clear Pro at a 3:1 ratio, and I haven't put any reducer in. I found that with the HVLP gun they can throw a lot of paint on, and not putting reducer in will enable it to get a better orange feel. Your first coat on nice and wet, second coat nice and wet too, a little bit wetter than your first. Just with your first coat you don't want it on too wet actually, because you can end up pulling the metallic and the silver down and you will end up having a bit of a colour difference. The effect won't be quite as nice. So I've then had a look, I'm happy with that. Now I'll do the second coat on the bumper bar. You'll notice on the bumper bar they can actually be quite tricky to paint because they've got so many different angles on them. Although you may want to wind your fluid in a little bit, gives you a bit more control over that. I don't personally, but just a bit of gun control. Pull your trigger in halfway for some of these openings and angle the gun up. You could wind the fan in. Close the fan up a touch to do these parts. Personally I've found it's not necessary, but it's something that you could do. After you've done all your edges, you'll then come around and do the flat spots, the flat areas. These BMWs have got quite a thick, nice wet finish on them, so that's why I put the HVLP air cap on. I find that they get a nicer finish than the conventional air cap on these absorbers. if I was painting a different car, I might want to change the air cap over to the T2, the Transtech cap. Come over and do the other side of the bar, do all the insides first, and then always start at the bottom and then do the top, so that any overspray that's going to land onto it won't end up going dry. I've used fast hardener on this job. I've then waited for 5 minutes while I'm cleaning the gun out, then hit bake for about 45 minutes at 60 degrees. Then unmasked it. The car actually got painted the day before it went, so the day after we've then polished it. As you can see, the colour looks nice, you can't see any blends, and that pretty much brings this job to an end. So thanks for watching. This has been another Gunman production. Goodbye.